Shalom and Kingdom Rising to each and every one of you today. It is August 26th, 2026. And for the last couple of days, we were in the book of Genesis. And yesterday we left off at chapter 29, so we finished it. And all praise to the Most High. So today we're going to do 30 through 39. We may, if we have enough time, get to 40, just so that tomorrow we'll hurry up and be done with the book of Genesis, and then we can reflect on it before going into Exodus. Okay? All right. So I do have me a cup of coffee out here this morning since we having Bible on the porch. It says boss lady. Cute. All right. Let's get going. Chapter 30. And when Rachel saw that she bore Jacob no children, Rachel envied her sister and said unto Jacob, Give me children, or else I die. And Jacob's anger was kindled against Rachel, and he said, Am I in God's stead, who hath withheld from thee the fruit of the womb? And she said, Behold, my maid Bilhad, go into her, and she shall bear unto my niece, that I may also have children by her. And she gave him Bilhad, her handmaid, to wife, and Jacob went in unto her. And Bilhad conceived and bore Jacob a son. And Rachel said, God hath judged me, and hath also heard my voice, hath given me a son, therefore called she his name Dan. And Bilhad, Rachel's handmaid, conceived again, and bore Jacob a second son. And Rachel said, With great wrestling have I wrestled with my sister, and I have prevailed. And she called his name Naphtali. Then, when Leah saw that she had left barren, she took Zilpah, her maid, and gave her Jacob to wife. And Zilpah, Leah's maid, bore Jacob a second son, and Leah said, Happy am I, for the daughters will call me blessed. And she called his name Asher. And Reuben went in to the days of wheat harvest, and found mandrakes in the field, and brought them unto his mother Leah. And Rachel said to Leah, Give me, I pray thee, of thy son's mandrakes. And she said unto her, Is it a small matter that thou hast taken my husband? And wouldest thou take away my son's mandrakes also? And Rachel said, Therefore he shall lie with thee at night for thy sons and mandrakes. And Jacob came out of the field in the morning, and Leah went out to meet him, and said, Thou must come in unto me, for surely I have hired thee with thy son's mandrakes. And he laid with her that night. And God hearkened unto Leah, and she conceived and bore Jacob the fifth son. And Leah said, God hath given me my hire, because I have given my maiden to my husband. And she called his name Asher. And Leah conceived again, and bore Jacob the sixth son. And Leah said, God hath endured me with a great dowry. Now will my husband dwell with me, because I have bore him 6 sons. And she called his name Zebulun. And afterwards she bore a daughter, and called her name Dinah. And God remembered Rachel, and Rachel hearkened to her, and opened her womb, and she conceived and bore a son, and said, God has taken away my reproach. And she called his name Joseph. and said, The Lord shall add to me another son. And it came to pass, when Rachel had born Joseph, that Jacob said unto Laban, Send me away, that I may go unto my own place and to my country. Give me my wives and my children, for whom I have served thee, and let me go, for thou knowest my service which I have done thee. And Laban said unto him, I pray thee, if I have found favor in thine eyes, tarry, for I have learned my experience that the Lord hath blessed me for thy sake. And he said, Appoint me thy wages, and I will give it. And he said unto them, Thou knowest how I have served thee, and bowed my cattle, served thee, and how thy cattle was with me. For it was little which thou hadst before I came, and it is now increased unto a multitude. And the Lord hath blessed thee since my coming. And now when I shall I Now when shall I provide for my own house also? And he said, What shall I give thee? And Jacob said, Thou shalt not give me thy thing. If thou wilt do this thing for me, I will again feed and keep my flock. I will pass through all thy flock today, removing from hence all the speckled and spotted cows, and all the brown cattle among the sheep, and the spotted and speckled among the goats, and for such shall be my hire. So shall my righteousness answer for me in time to come, when I shall come from my hire before thy face, every one that is not speckled and spotted among the goats, and brown among the sheep, and shall be counted stolen with me. And Laban said, Behold, I would it not be according to thy word. And he removed that day the goats that were ring-spranked and spotted, and all the she-goats that were speckled and spotted, and every one that had some white in it. I never really read. This is the black man's book, okay? So, basically, it said what it said right there. Any one of them that had white in it, and all the brown among the sheep, and gave them unto the hand of his sons. And he set 3 days' journey between himself and Jacob fled the rest of Laban's flock. And Jacob took him rods of green polar, and of the hazel and chestnut tree, and peeled white stripes in them, and made the white appear which was in the rods. And he set the rods which he had peeled before the flocks in the gutter in the watering trough, when the flocks came to drink, that they should conceive when they became to drink. And the flocks conceived before the rods, and brought forth cattle, ring-striped, speckled, and spotted. And Jacob did separate the lambs, and set the faces of the flocks toward the ring-striped, and all the brown in the flocks of Laban. And he put his own flocks by themselves, and put them not unto Laban's cattle. And it came to pass, whensoever the stranger cattle did conceive, that Jacob laid the rods before the eyes of the cattle in the gutter, that they might conceive among the rods. But when the cattle were feeble, he put them not in. So the feeble were Laban's, and the stronger Jacob's. And the man increased exceedingly, and had much cattle, and menservants, and camels and asses. Jacob was doing Jacob was doing something he wasn't supposed to. But he took the strong and left the weak with Laban, because Laban had did what he did. He made him take all of them women. And he didn't want all them women. He just wanted Rachel. And he said, not so. Chapter 31. And he heard the words of Laban's son, saying, Jacob hath taken away all that was our father's, and of that which was our father's hath he begotten all this glory. And Jacob held the countenance of Laban, and behold, it was not toward him as before. Yeah, he was upset about it. And the Lord said unto Jacob, return unto the land of thy fathers, and to thy kindred, and I will be with thee. And Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field unto his flock, and said unto them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not toward me as before, but the God of my father hath been with me. And ye know that with all my power I have served your father, and your father hath deceived me, and changed my wages 10 times. But God suffered him not to hurt me. If he said this, the speckle shall be thy wages, then all the cattle bore speckled. And if he said thus, the ring strike shall be thy hire, then bear all the cattle ring strike. Thus God hath taken away the cattle of my father, and given them to me. And it came to pass at the time that the cattle conceived, that I lifted up my eyes, and was in a dream. And behold, a ram which leaped upon the cattle were ring stripes, speckled, and grazed. And the angel of God spake unto me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and see all the rams which leap upon the cattle are ring striped, speckled, and grazed. For I have seen, all that Laban doeth unto thee. I am the God of Bethel, where thou anointed the pillar, and where thou vowest a vow unto me. Now arise, get thee out from the land, and return unto the land of thy kindred. And Rachel and Leah answered and said unto him, Is there yet any portion or inheritance for us in your father's house? They want to know, we going there, is there anything for us? Because if not, we're going to stay at our daddy's. Wise girls. And we not counted of him strangers, for he hath sold us, and hath quite devoured also our money. For all the riches which God hath taken from the Father, that is ours and our children's. Now then, whatsoever God hath said unto thee, do. Then Jacob rose up, set his sons and his wives upon camels, and he carried away all the cattle and all the goods which he had gotten, the cattle of his getting which he had gotten in Padanaram, for to go to Isaac his father in the land of Canaan. And Laban went to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the images that were her father's, his tetnums. Just taking stuff. And Jacob stole away unaware to Laban and Serene, in that he told him not that he fled. So he fled with all that he had, and he arose up and passed over the river, and set his face toward the Mount Gilead. And it was told Laban on the third day that Jacob was fled. And he took his brethren with him, and pursued after them, 7 days' journey, and they overtook him in the Mount Gilead. And God's and God came to Laban and Serene in a dream by night. Always dreams, visions, his voice. He still does that, especially in dreams and visions. Not so much talking to you, don't hear his voice. But I mean, if he said he gonna tell you in a dream, he may not use words. He used pictures. So you gotta understand, right? He's not gonna prophesy to you with somebody else's situation. He's gonna prophesy to you. Let's read on. Where were we at? 24, verse 24. And God came to Laban and Cyrene in a dream by night, and said unto him, Take heed that thou speak not to Jacob, neither good or bad. Then Lahad overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mount, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mount of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast stolen away unawares to me, and carried away my daughters as captives, taken with the sword? Wherefore didst thou flee away secretly and steal away from me, and didst not tell me, that I might have sent thee, away with mirth, and with songs, and timbrels, and with harp. Okay? So with musical instruments, song and praise is very important to the Most High. So if you're saying you can't have tambourines, and you can't have guitars or stringed instruments or organs and stuff like that, that's not of the Most High. You can. He never said we couldn't. Right? He loved us to praise. And has not suffered me to kiss my sons and my daughters? Hast thou now done foolishly in so doing? It is in the power of my hand to do your heart. But the God of our fathers spake unto me yesternight, saying, Take thou heed that thou speak not to Jacob, neither good or bad. And now, though thou wouldest needs be gone, because thou sore longest after the father's house, yet wherefore hast thou stolen my gods? And Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Peradventure, meaning perhaps, thou wouldest take by force thy daughters from me. With whosoever thou findest thy goods, let him not live before our brethren discern thou that was thine with me, and take it to thee. For Jacob knew not that Rachel had stolen them. See, Jacob didn't even know Rachel. Rachel was slick. Went in there and took them. She didn't tell nobody. and Laban, went into Jacob's tent, and unto Leah's tent, and unto the two maidservants' tents, but he found them not. Then went out he to Leah's tent, and entered into Leah's tent. Now Rachel had taken them images, and put them in the camel's furniture, and sat them upon them. And Laban searched all the tent, but found them not. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord, that I cannot rise up before thee, for the custom of women is upon me. And he searched, but found not the images. She said, Listen, let it be not, because I'm on my monthly. Don't be in here. It's dirty. Lied. You see how Rachel was? She hid them in, but she didn't want to get found out. Whereas thou hadst searched all my stuff, that thou would find all of my household stuff, yet in there before my brethren and thy brethren, and they may judge between us both. This 20 years have I been with thee. Thy ewes and thy goats have not cast their young, and the rams of thy flocks have I not eaten. That thou wast torn of beasts, I brought not unto thee. I bore the loss of it. Of my hand doest thou require it, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. Thus I was in the day, the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sheep departed from my eyes. Thus have I been 20 years in thy house. I served thee 14 years for thy 2 daughters, and 6 years for thy cattle, and thou hast charged my wages. You have changed my wages 10 times. Boy, Rachel should have just told, look, I don't know what her problem was, but she said she gonna take it. You should know your children. That one now. Yeah, I'm going to tear it all up because I know what you done did. But now it was time for them to go. All right. Moving on. Except the God of thy fathers, the God of Abraham, and the fear of Isaac, and had been with me, surely thou hast sent me away now empty. God has seen thine affliction and the labor of thy hands, and rebuked thee yesternight. And Laban answered unto Jacob, these daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and these cattle are my cattle, and all that thou seest is mine. And what can I do this day unto thee? My daughters are unto their children which they have borne. Oh, Lord, you see, Lord, Laban, he said, these are my daughters, these are my children. Just a man, he like that shotgun daddy. Now, Jacob, these are my daughters, these are my kids, these are my cattle, mine. You stole my stuff, and I ain't giving nothing to you. Now, verse 44. Now, therefore, come thou, let us make a covenant, and I thou, and let it be for a witness between me and thee. So come on, let's make a covenant. Let's get an agreement, because between me and thee. Verse 45. And Jacob took a stone and set it up for a pillar. And Jacob said unto his brethren, gather stones. And they took stones and made a heap. And they did eat there upon the heap. And Laban called it, y'all know I'm bad with these names. And they, so some of them are a little chopped and screwed. I'm going to do my best. I do apologize. Okay. Jehoshaphat Jehoshaphat. I'll spell it for you. Jejarshadutha. Jagar-sahadutha. All right, keep on. But Jacob called it Gilead. And Laban said, this heap is a witness between me and thee this day. Therefore was the name of it called Gilead. And Mizpah, for he said, the Lord which watch between me and thee when we are absent one from another. If thou shalt afflict my daughters, or if thou shalt take other wives besides my daughters, no man is with us. See, God is witness between me and thee. And Lahad said to Jacob, behold this heap, and behold this pillar, which I have cast between me and thee. This heap be witness, and the pillar be witness, that I will not pass over this heap to thee. And thou and that thou shalt not pass over the heap and this pillar unto me for harm. He said, all right, we're gonna make hay. We're gonna put some, and this is a whole heap. We're gonna call it whatever it is, right? Gilead, or Joe, that long word, right? So then he said, okay, so you can't pass over here and do me harm, all right? It's between you, me, and the Most High. All right, cool beans. Yeah. And God, the God of Abraham and the God of Nahor and the God of their father judge between us. And Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered sacrifice upon the mount and called his brethren to eat bread. And they did eat bread and tarried all night in the mount. And early in the morning, Laban rose up and kissed his sons and his daughters and blessed them. And Laban departed and returned unto his place. Boy, they was having it out, weren't they? Okay, chapter 32. And Jacob went on his way, and the angels of God met him. And when Jacob saw them, he said, this is Jacob's host. And he called the name of that place Mahanaim. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother unto the land of Seir, the country of Edom. And he commanded them, saying, thus shall ye speak unto my lord Esau. Thy servant Jacob saith thus, I have sojourned with Laban and stayed there until now. And I have oxen and asses and flocks and men servants and women servants. And I have sent to tell my Lord that I may find grace in thy sight. And the messenger returned to Jacob, saying, we came to thy brother Esau, and also he cometh to meet thee, and 400 men with him. And Jacob was greatly afraid and distressed. And he divided the people that was with him, and the flocks and herds, and the camels unto 2 bands, and said, if Esau come to the one company and smite it, then the other company which is left shall escape. And Jacob said, O God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord which said unto me, return unto thy country and to thy kindred, and I will dwell with thee. And I am not worthy of the least of all the mercies and all the truth which thou hast showed unto thy servant. For with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I am become 2 brands. Deliver me, I pray thee, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, for I fear lest he will come and smite me and the mother with the children. And thou said, I will surely do thee good, and make my seed as the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for a multitude. And he lodged there at same night, and took of that which came to his hand a present for Esau his brother, 200 she-goats, and 20 he-goats, 200 ewes, and 20 rams, 30 milch lambs, milch, milch camel, with their colts, colts, 40 kine, and 10 bulls, 20 she-asses, and 10 fowls. And he delivered them into the hand of his servants, every drove by themselves, and said unto the servants, pass over before me, and put a space between drove and drove. And he commanded therefore, saying, when Esau my brother meeteth me, and ask thee, saying, whose art thou, and whither goest thou, and whose are these before thee? Then thou shalt say, they be thy servant Jacob's. It is a present sent unto my lord Esau. And behold, also he is behind us. And so command he the second and the third and all that follow the drove, saying, on this manner shall ye speak unto Esau when ye find him. And say ye moreover, behold, thy servant Jacob is behind us. For he said, I will please him with the present that goeth before me, and afterward I will see his face. Peradventure he will accept of me. So went the present over before him, and himself lodged that night in the company. And he rose up that night and took his 2 wives and his 2 woman servants and his 11 sons, and passed over the 4th Jabbok. And he took him and sent them over the brook, and sent over that he had. And Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. He wrestled with the angel of the Lord. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. Jacob was determined. He said, I need that blessing. You not finna just, no. Jacob wasn't. Jacob was Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more. No, until 26. And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me. 27. And he said unto him, what is thy name? And he said, Jacob. And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel. For as a prince hast thou power with God, and with men it hath prevailed. That angel hit that thigh. Oh, Jacob said, I don't care. I'm going to grab hold of you anyway. You gon' bless me. He wanted that blessing. And Jacob asked him and said, tell me, I pray thee, thy name. And he said, wherefore is it that thou doest ask for after my name? And he blessed him there. And Jacob called the name of the place Peniel, for I have seen God face to face, and my life is preserved. And as he passed over Peniel, the sun rose upon him, and he halted upon his thigh. Therefore the children of Israel eat not of the swine which the sinew which shrank. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, so I'll spell it for you. Sinew, which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh. So the inner thigh. He bing, struck him. Unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh, which shrank, which is upon the hollow of the thigh unto this day, because he touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh in the sinewy, the seam that shrank. So it was the inner. He boom hit him right there. He got a new walk after that. He limped, but that's okay. Now we at chapter 33. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau came, and with him 400 men. And he divided the children unto Leah and unto Rachel and unto the 2 handmaids. And he put the handmaids and the children foremost, and Leah and her children after, and Rachel and Jacob hindermost. So he had them in order, where the handmaids and their children were first. And then after the handmaids was Rachel and her baby, and then Leah and him. because that was his first wife. So they had to go in that order. Because if they're gonna attack the least to get to the greater. They won't do anything, right? And then verse 3. And he passed over before them and bowed himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. And Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. And he lifted up his eyes and saw the women and the children and said, Who are those with thee? And he said, The children which God hath graciously given my servant. Then the handmaids came near, and they and their children, and they bowed themselves. And Leah also with her children came near and bowed themselves. And after came Joseph near, and Rachel, and they bowed themselves. And he said, What meanest thou by all that drove which I met? And he said, These are to find grace in the sight of my Lord. Even he called his brother my Lord. And Esau said, I met enough, my brother. No, Esau said, I have enough, my brother. Keep that thou hast unto thyself. And Jacob said, Nay, I pray thee, if now I have found grace in thy sight, and received my presence at my hand, for therefore I have seen thy face, as though I have seen the face of God, and thou wast pleased with me. Take, I pray thee, my blessing that is brought to thee, because God hath dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough. And he urged him, and he took it. And he said, Let us take our journey, and let us go, and I will go before thee. See, he understood, and he gave Esau a blessing, right? He made peace. And he said unto him, My Lord knoweth that the children are tender, and the flocks and the herds with young are with me. And if men should overdrive them one out, all the flock will die. Let my Lord, I pray thee, pass over before his servant, and I will lead on softly, according as the cattle that goeth before me, and the children be able to endure until I come unto my Lord, unto Syria. And Esau said, Let me now leave with these, some of the folks that are with me. And he said, What needeth it? Let me find grace in the sight of my Lord. So Esau returned that day on his way unto Syria. And Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built him an house, and made booths for his cattle. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. Succoth. Verse 18. And Jacob came to Shalom, a city of Shechem, which is the land of Canaan, when he came unto Padan-aram, and pitched his tent before the city. And he bought a parcel of a field where he had spread his tent at the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. And he erected there an altar and called it Elohi Israel. Now we at verse 34. Y'all all right? All right. Verse 34. And Dinah, the daughter of Leah, which she bore unto Jacob, went out to see the daughters of the land. And when Shechem, the son of Hamor, the Hivite, prince of the country, saw her, he took her and lay with her and defiled her. Mm, giving it up to false gods, right? And his soul cleaved unto Dinah, the daughter of Jacob. And he loved the damsel, and spake kindly unto the damsel. And Shechem spake unto his father Hamor, saying, Get me this damsel to wife. And Jacob heard that he had defiled Dinah, his daughter. Now his sons were with his cattle in the field, and Jacob held his peace until they were come. And Hamor, the father of Shechem, went out unto Jacob to commune with him. And the sons of Jacob came out of the field when they heard it. And the men were grieved, and they were very wroth, because he had brought folly in Israel in laying with Jacob's daughter, which thing ought not to be done. And Hamor communed with them, saying, The soul of thy son Shechem longeth for thy daughter. I pray you give her him to wife, and make ye marriage with us. I hope y'all can hear, because this air conditioner is loud in the window. Okay. Make marriage with us, and give your daughter unto us, and take our daughter unto you. And ye shall dwell with us, and the land shall be before you, and dwell and trade ye therein, and give you possessions therein. And Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in their eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. Okay. There are some people that think that sex is marriage, right? But in chapter 34 of Genesis, talking about Dinah, as you can see, he laid with her in 34 chapter 2, and then tried to ask for her in marriage. So sex really isn't marriage. There has to be something else that happens in order for that to take place. Okay? Because in earlier chapters you read, they had, they knew he went into her and they became one flesh, or he took this woman to be wives or whatnot. But other things had to happen in order for that to have happened. So they're just basically getting to the gist of it. He took this woman, he laid with this woman, boom, boom, boom. Right. But in this case, it was like, Okay? So, moving forward. Okay. And to the father, so we're going to have to back read, I'm sorry. So, verse 11, Shechem said unto her father and unto her brethren, Let me find grace in your eyes, and what ye shall say unto me, I will give. Ask me never so much dowry and gift, and I will give according as ye shall say unto me, but give me the damsel to wife. And the sons of Jacob answered Shechem and Hamor his father deceitfully, and said, because he had defiled Dinah their sister, and they said unto them, We cannot do this thing, to give our sister to one that is uncircumcised, for that were a reproach unto us. Right, remember, everybody had to be circumcised from Abraham on down. And you uncircumcised, we can't give you no. I love her brothers. And then will we give our daughters unto you, and we will take your daughters to us, and we will dwell with you, and we will become one people. But if ye will not hearken unto us to be circumcised, then will ye take our daughter, and we will be done. They were some mighty brothers. I loved it. They were like, who gonna get my... No, you not circumcised. You not this. And then you want... No, you just ain't gonna do. What are you doing? And their words pleased Hamor and Shushan, Hamor's son. And the young man deferred not to do the thing, because he had delight in Jacob's daughter, and he was more honorable than all the house of his father. And Hamor and Shechem his son came unto the gate of the city, and communed with the men of their city, saying, These men are peaceable with us. Therefore let them dwell in the land and trade therein, for the land, behold, it is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters to us for wives, and let us give them our daughters. Only therein will the men consent unto us for to dwell with us, to be one people, if every male among us be circumcised, and they are circumcised. Shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Horam and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of the city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of his city. And it came to pass on the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came unto the city boldly, and slew all the males. They wasn't having it. They weren't having it. Said, I don't care. You defiled our sister. You didn't do it right. You went against. You didn't come ask us for her. You did not pay a dowry for her. You didn't do nothing. You labored her, already defiled her. You're smitten by her love. And then you're going to come, knowing you're not circumcised, then you're going to come ask us after you done did it? Nah, you playing us for a fool. I think's not. Example has to happen. So they killed him. Shall not their cattle and their substance... I'm in back read. Only herein all the children consent unto us to dwell with them, to be one people. If every man among us be circumcised, and they are circumcised, shall not their cattle and their substance and every beast of theirs be ours? Only let us consent unto them, and they will dwell with us. And unto Hamor and unto Shechem his son hearkened all that went out of the gate of the city, and every male was circumcised, all that went out of the gate of the city. And it came to pass the third day, when they were sore, that two of the sons of Jacob, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brethren, took each man his sword, and came unto the city boldly, and slew all the males. Verse 26. And they slew Hamor and Shechem his son with the edge of the sword, and took Dinah out of Shechem's house, and went out. And the sons of Jacob came upon the slain, and spoiled the city, because they had defiled their sister. They took their sheep, and their oxen, and their asses, and that which was in the city, and that which was in the field, and all their wealth, and all their little ones, and their wives took they captive, and spoiled even all that was in the house. And Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, Ye have troubled me to make me to stink among the inhabitants of the land, among the Canaanites and the Perizzites, and I being few in number, they shall gather themselves together against me, and slay me, and I shall be destroyed, I and my house. And they said, Should he deal with our sister as with a harlot? They fought for their sister. No, you're not going to deal with my sister as though she's a harlot and then come ask for her, and we're supposed to be okay with that. Like, nah, you're going to learn today. Chapter 35. And God said unto Jacob, arise, go up to Bethel and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God that appeared unto thee when thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother. And Jacob said unto his household and to all that were with him, put away the strange gods that are among you, and be clean, and change your garments. Are garments necessary to be changed? Yes. So when people say God don't care about what you wear, I want y'all to underline that. That's in chapter 35 of Genesis. And let us rise and go up to Bethel, and I will make thee an altar unto God, who answered me in the day of thy distress, and was with me in the way which I went. And they gave unto Jacob all the strange gods which were in their hand, and all their earrings which were in their ears. And Jacob hid them under the oak which was in Shechem. And they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the city that were around about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. All right, that's that. Underline that. Okay, if you're with Keepers of the Flame, Hebrew Kingdom Building Ministry, understand this. This is a form of repentance, putting away false gods. Okay, if you're gonna sojourn, you gotta put away false gods, even down to your earrings, whatever they had. Take it out, right? Well, I don't know what kind of earrings they had back then. Could have been whatever it was, but it represented, and it was to their false god. Take it off. Change your garment. Gotta change your clothes. Become clean. That's another way of baptism too. Okay? Change. Repenting means to change. All right? Let's move on. Okay, and they journeyed, and the terror of God was upon the city that were around about them, and they did not pursue after the sons of Jacob. So Jacob came to Luz, which is in the land of Canaan, that is Bethel, he and all the people that were with him. And he built there an altar and called the place El Bethel, because there God appeared to him when he fled from the face of his brother. But Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died, and she was buried beneath Bethel under an oak, and the name of it was called Alabethka. And God appeared unto Jacob again when he came out of Padanram, and blessed him. And God said unto him, thy name is Jacob. Thy name shall not be called any more Jacob, but Israel shall thou be named. And he called his name Israel. Verse 11. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. Again, that's a commandment. That's a commandment. It's a law, right? And I'll read it again. And God said unto him, I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply. A nation and a company of nations shall be of thee, and kings shall come out of thy loins. And the land which I gave Abraham and Isaac to thee, I will give it, and to thy seed after thee will I give the land. And God went up from him in the place where he talked with him. And Jacob set up a pillar in the place where he talked with him, even a pillar of stone. And he poured a drink offering thereon, and he poured oil thereon. And Jacob called the name of this place where God spake unto him, Bethel. And they journeyed from Bethel, and there was but a little way to come to Ephrath, and Rachel traveled, and she had a hard labor. And it came to pass when she was in hard labor that the midwife said unto her, Fear not, thou shalt have this son also. And it came to pass, as her soul was in departing, for she died, that she called his name Benjamin, but his father called him Benjamin. And Rachel died and was buried in the way of Ephrath, which is in Bethlehem. And Jacob set a pillar upon her grave, that is the pillar of Rachel's grave unto this day. And Israel journeyed and spared his tent beyond the tower of Eder. And it came to pass when Israel dwelt in the land that Reuben went and laid with Bilhah, his father's concubine. Who else be laying with people that ain't got no business? We read about that already. And Israel heard it. He heard them doing that. Now, the sons of Jacob were 12. The sons of Leah, Reuben, Jacob's firstborn, and Simeon, and Levi, and Judah, and Issachar, and Zebulun. And the sons of Rachel, Joseph, and Benjamin. And the sons of Bilhah, Rachel's handmaid, Dan, and Naphtali. And the sons of Zilpah, Leah's handmaid, Gad, and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob, which were born to him in Padan. And Jacob came unto Issachar, his father, unto Mamre, unto the city of Arad, which is Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac sojourned. And the days of Isaac were 180 years. And Isaac gave up the ghost, and died, and was gathered unto his people, being old and full of days. And his sons Esau and Jacob buried him. Abraham. What did Reuben do? He slept with his son. He slept with his father's nakedness, who also did and was cursed. You got to go back and look at the other videos. We talked about that. It's also in the book of Genesis. Moving on, for time's sake. Chapter 36. Now these are the generations of Esau, who is Edom. Esau took his wives of the daughters of Canaan, Adah, and the daughter of Elon the Hittite, and Aholibah, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zibeon the Hivite, and Bashmith, Ishmael's daughter, sister of Nebajah. And Adah bore to Esau Elziph, and Bashmeth bore Ruel, and Oholibah bore Jeshu, and Jalam, and Korah. These are the sons of Esau, which were born unto him in the land of Canaan. And Esau took his wives, and his sons, and his daughters, and all the persons of his house, and his cattle, and all his beasts, and all his substance, which he had got in the land of Canaan, and went unto the country from the face of his brother Jacob. For their riches were more than that they might dwell together, and the land wherein they were strangers could not bear them because of their cattle. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Chapter 36, verse 8 tells you who Esau is. Esau was in the Mount of Seir. Esau is Edom. Moving forward. And these are the generations of Esau, the father of the Edomites, in Mount Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons: Eliphaz, the son of Adah, the wife of Esau; Ruel, the son of Beshemath, the wife of Esau. And the son of Eliphaz were Tamaz, Omer, Zepho, and Gotham, and Kenaz. And Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, and she bore to Eliphaz Amalek. These are the sons of Adad, Esau's wife. There you go, Amalek. That's a Esau. That's an Edomite. Okay. All right. So, are they a part of the promise? All right. And these are the sons of Ruel, Nahath, and Zerah, Shema, and Mitzvah. These were the sons of Bashmeth, Esau's wife. Now, are they from the line of Shem? Yes. But are they a part of the promise? No. Who was the blessing given to? Jacob. There you have it. And Esau's wife. And these were the sons of Aholameth, the daughter of Anah, the daughter of Zebeon, Esau's wife, and she bore to Esau Jeshu and Jalam and Korah. These were the dukes of the sons of Esau, the sons of Eliphaz, the firstborn son of Esau, Duke Drake, Omar, Duke, Duke Omar, Duke Zipho, Duke Kenaz, Duke Korah, and Duke Gotham, and Duke Amalek, and are the dukes that came from Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These were the sons of Ahad. And we're going to see why God hated them. Not because of the blessing or because of the birthright. It was because they started serving false gods. And he was like, oh no, Jacob I love because you kept my statute, laws, and commandments. Esau I hate because they going off doing the hokey pokey with somebody, with another deity. Okay? Let me go ahead and pour me up another cup. All right. Y'all with me? All right. We're almost done. Got a few more chapters to go. This is going to be, because we're going to stop at 40. Okay? And then these are the sons of Ruel, Esau's son, Duke Nahath, Duke Zerah, Duke Shemath, Duke Mitzvah. These are the dukes that came from Ruel in the land of Edom. And these are the sons of Bashmeth, Esau's wife. And these are the sons of Ahilameth, Esau's wife, Duke Jeshu, Duke Jalim, Duke Korah. These were the dukes that came from Oholibah, the daughter of Nahab, Esau's wife. These are the sons of Esau, who is Edom, and these are their dukes. These are the sons of Seir and Horite, who inhabited the land. Lotan, and Shobal, and Zebion, and Nahat, and Dishon, and and Esner, and Dishon. These are the dukes of Horites, the children of Seir in the land of Edom. The land of Seir, And 22. And the children of Lotan were Horai and Hemam, and Lotan's sister was Tamnah. And the children of Shobal were these: Alva, and Manahath, and Ebal, Shepho, and Onan. Onam. Onam. Yeah. Onam. Onam. Okay. And these are the children of Zibon, both Ajab, Ahab, and Anah. 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 This was that Anah that found the mules in the wilderness as he fled the asses of Zebulun, his father. And the children of Anah, these were Dishon, Oholamath, the daughter of Ahab. And these are the children of Dishon, Hemdan, and Eshban, and Ishran, and Chizran. The children of Asner are these: Bilhah, and Zanavan, and Akan. And the children of Dishon are these: Uz and Aran. And these are the dukes that came from the Horites: Duke Lotan, Duke Shobal, Duke Ziram, and Duke Ahad, Duke Dishon, Duke Esner, Duke Dishon. These are the dukes that came from Hori, among their dukes in the land of Sari. And these are the kings that reigned in the land of Edom before they reigned any king over the children of Israel. Okay? And Bela, the son of Beor, reigned in Edom, and the name of his city was Dinabeth. And Bela died, and Jobab, the son of Zerah, or Basra, reigned in his stead. And Jobab died, and Husham in the land of Timnah reigned in his stead. And Shusham died, and Hadad, the son of Bahad, whom smote Midian in the field of Moab, reigned in his stead, and the name of his city was Avith. And Hadad died, and Shimla of Masrekah reigned in his stead. And Samlah died, and Saul of Rehoboth by the river resigned in his stead. River, and reigned in his stead. I'm sorry, I need to. All right. And Saul died, and Baal-Hanan, the son of Archbor, reigned in his stead. And Bahalam, the son of Archbor, died, and Hador reigned in his stead, and the name of his city was Paru. And his wife's name was Mehethabel, the daughter of Matred, the daughter of Mezha. And these are the names of the dukes that came from Esau, according to their families, after their places by their names: Duke Timnah, Duke Alva, Duke Jahath, Duke Aholabama, Duke Elah, Duke Pinon, Duke Kesna, Duke Taman, Duke Nabzar, Duke Madel, Duke Toram. These be the dukes of Edom according to their inhabitations in the land of their possession. He is Esau, the father of the Edomites. Right there in the book of Genesis. Chapter 37. So it talks about Esau and Esau's land, and who reigned, and who was in Mount Seir, who fought against us in later books and later chapters. Okay? Moving right along. Chapter 37. And Jacob dwelt in the land wherein his father was a stranger in the land of Canaan. These are the generations of Jacob. Joseph, being 17 years old, was feeding the flock with his brethren, and the lad was with the sons of Bilhah and with the sons of Zephalah, his father's wives. And Joseph brought unto his father their evil report. Now Israel loved Joseph more than all his children, because he was the son of his old age, and he made him a coat of many colors. He showed favoritism. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet even more. And he said unto them, Hear, I pray thee, this dream which I have dreamed. Excuse me. For before we were binding sheaves in the field, and lo, my sheaf arose and also stood upright. And behold, your sheaves stood around about, and made obscene to my sheaves. And his brethren said to him, Shalt thou indeed reign over us, or shalt thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet and more for his dream and for his words. And he dreamed yet another dream, and told it his brethren, and said, Behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me. Obeisance to me. I may not be saying that word right, y'all. I do apologize. It is OBEISANCE. Okay, to me. And he told it to his father and to his brethren, and his father rebuked him. His brother said, Hold on now, you little. They older than you. They ain't supposed to be bound to you. What's wrong with you? And said unto him, What is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee in the earth? That don't seem like, now you done made it up. Joseph couldn't catch a breath. And his brethren envied him, and his brother observed the same. And his brethren went to feed their father's flock in Shechem. And Israel said unto Joseph, Do not thy brethren feed the flock in Shechem? Shechem? Come, and I will send thee unto them. And he said to him, Here I am. And he said to him, Go, I pray thee, see whether it be well with thy brethren and well with the flocks, and bring me word again. So he sent him out of the vale of Hebron, and he came to Shechem. And a certain man found him, and behold, he was wandering in the field. And the man asked him, saying, What seekest thou? And he said, I seek my brethren. Tell me, I pray thee, where they feed their flocks. And the man said, They are departed hence, for I heard them say, Let us go to Dudan. And Joseph went after his brethren and found them in Dudan. And when they saw him afar off, even before he came near unto them, they conspired against him to slay him. And they said one to another, Behold, this dreamer cometh. And he said, Look, here come the dreamer. Here he come, holding people to bow to him. Not today. And now, and come now, thereof, therefore, and let us slay him and cast him into some pit. And we will say, Some evil beast hath devoured him, and we shall see what will become of his dreams. They just don't understand. You could have a dream, and 20 years later it manifests. And always, nothing happens just like that, right? Sometimes. But yeah, correct. All right, let's move on. Verse 21. And Reuben heard it, and he delivered him out of their hands, and said, let us not kill him. Reuben said unto them, shed no blood, but cast him into this pit that is in the wilderness, and lay no hand upon him, that he might rid him out of their hands, to deliver him to the father again. Reuben, the oldest of them, said, we're not going to kill our brother. That is just because of all of that. Y'all foolish. Okay? We're just going to hide him in a pit. We're going to teach him a lesson. We're going to hide his behind in a pit, and then we'll come get him again afterward. All right? Pretty much like put him in time now. We get tired of him. Joseph was a little something. And it came to pass, when Joseph was come unto his brethren, that they stripped Joseph out of his coat of many colors that was on him. And they took him and cast him into a pit, and the pit was empty. There was no water in it. And they sat down to eat bread. And they lift up their eyes and looked, and behold, a company of Ishmaelites came from Gilead with their camels bearing spicery and balm and myrrh, going to carry it down to Egypt. And Joseph said unto his brethren, what profit is it for we slay our brethren and conceal his blood? Come and let us sell him to the Ishmaelites. You see, you hear Judah? So, later chapters, later books, sword ain't gonna leave his house. And Joseph said and Judah said unto his brethren, what profit is it if we slay our brother and conceal his blood? Come, let us sell him to the Ishmaelites, and let not our hand be upon him, for he is our brother and our flesh. And his brethren were content. They were like, okay, all right. Then there passeth by Midianites, merchantmen, and they drew and lifted up Joseph out of the pit, and sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver, and they bought Joseph into Egypt. That's pretty much, I think it's 30 pieces of silver or less is how much it is for a slave back in those days. Moving on. And brought him unto Egypt. Now, which Egypt did they take him to? They didn't take him to refuge. They took him to bondage. Keep on. And Reuben returned unto the pit, and behold, Joseph was not in the pit, and he rent his clothes. Reuben was not happy. He said, put him in there and leave us behind there. I'll come back and get him so we can take him back to dad. And what did Judah say? Nah, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites. Let him sell him for a slave. We're gonna get some money and he'll be out of our care. Reuben was not happy. He was pissed off. He was not happy when he rent his clothes. And he returned unto his brethren and said, the child is not. And I, whither shall I go? That he is not there. Where is he? What did y'all do with him? Right? Because he's big brother. He's like, nah, where he at? And they took Joseph's coat and killed the kid of the goats and dipped the coat in the blood. And they sent the coat of many colors, and they brought it unto their father, and said, this have we found. Know how whether it be thy son's coat or not. And he knew it, and said, it is my son's coat. An evil beast had devoured him. Joseph was without doubt rent in pieces. And Jacob rent his clothes, and put sackcloth upon his loins, and mourned for his son many days. And all his sons and all his daughters rose up to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. And he said, for I will go down into the grave unto my son's mourning. Thus his father wept for him. And the Midianites sold him into Egypt unto Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh's and captain of the guard. Chapter 38. And it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren and turned into a certain Dulamite, whose name was Hira. And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite, whose name was Shua. And he took her and went in unto her. And she conceived and bore a son, and he called his name And she conceived again and bore a son, and she called his name Onan. And she yet again conceived and bore a son, and called his name Shelah. Shelah. And he was at Chizib when she bore him. And Judah took a wife of his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. And Judah's firstborn, was wicked in the sight of the Lord. Ooh. And the Lord slew him. And Judah said unto Onan, Go into your brother's wife, and marry her, and raise up a seed in thy brother. And Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass when he went into his brother's wife that he spilled it on the ground, lest that she should give seed to his brother. Okay. And to his brother. And the thing which he did displease the Lord, wherefore he slew him also. Then said Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, Remain a widow at thy father's house till Shelah my son be grown, for he said, Lest peradventure he die also as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. And in process of time, the daughter of Shua, Joseph's wife, died. And Judah was comforted and went up into the sheep shear to Timnah, he and his friend Hira the Hudamite, the Adulamite. And it was told Tamar saying, Behold, thy father-in-law goeth up to Timnah to shear his sheep. And she put on her widow's garment off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in an open place which is by the way to Timnah. And she saw that Shelah was grown, and she was not given unto him to wife. Meaning when he sent her away to her father's house, basically they forgot about her. She was isolated. She was not supposed to put on no other clothes but clothes of widowhood. And no one was supposed to be bothered with her. So she saw that their last brother had already grown up to age, to marry 20 years old or so, to be married off, and she was still not married. All right. So some time had passed. So let's read on. When Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot, because she was wrapped up. He couldn't identify her who she was, because she had covered her face. And he turned into her by the way, and said, Go to, I pray thee, let me come into thee. For he knew not that she was his daughter-in-law. And she said, What wilt thou give me, that thou mayest come into me? And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, wilt thou give me a pledge till thou send it? And he said, what pledge will I give thee? And she said, thy signet and thy bracelet and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it to her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him. Meaning she never uncovered her face. And she arose and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. See, she was never supposed to take it off. But she said, oh, but you're going to bless me indeed. And and Judah sent the kid by the hand of his friend, the Adulamite, to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. Then he asked the men of that place, saying, where is the harlot that was openly by this wayside? And they said, there was no harlot in this place. And he returned to Judah and said, I cannot find her. And also the men of this place said that there was no harlot in this place. And Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be ashamed. Behold, I sent the kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after, that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, hath played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. Ooh, them people can tell it. And Judah said, bring her forth and let her be burnt. Like, bring her. She was supposed to stay a widow until we. But the whole point of that is, since Judah purchased her with dowry and brought her into his household from under her father's house, she was to do what they told her to do. He gave her to Ur did wrong in the eyes of the Lord. He smote him. His brother was supposed to. He wasted seed. He smote him. Selah, not Selah. What's his name? Sheila. Shelia. He had grown up, and he gave another wife to her. So she was just in isolation, waiting to be. And he didn't have no more sons. He's like, so, and she was being faithful the whole time. She knew that man was coming. But he was like, oh, so she's out there playing a whore, and she's under my name. Bring her here so we gonna do her dirty. We're gonna kill her. And where were we at? Oh wow. I think we were down here. I'll have to read backwards. Okay, let's start at 23. And Judah said, let her take it to her, lest we be ashamed. Behold, I sent this kid, and thou hast not found her. And it came to pass about 3 months after, that it was told Judah, saying, Tamar, thy daughter-in-law, hath played the harlot, and also, behold, she is with child by whoredom. And Judah said, bring her forth, and let her be burnt. When she was brought forth, she sent to her father-in-law, saying, by the man whose these are, am I with child? And she said, discern, I pray thee. Whose are these? The signet, the bracelet, and the staff. And Judah acknowledged them and said, she hath been more righteous than I, because that I gave her not to Shelah, my son, or Selah, my son, and he knew her again no more. And it came to pass in the time that her travel, that behold, twins were in her womb. And it came to pass, when she traveled, that the one had put out his hand, and the midwife took and bound upon his hand a scarlet thread, saying, This came out first. And it came to pass, as he drew back his hand, that, behold, his brother came out. And she said, How hast thou broken forth? This breach be upon thee. Therefore the name was called Perez. And after came out his brother that had the scarlet thread upon his hand, and his name was Zora. We're at chapter 39. And Joseph was brought down to Egypt, and Potiphar, the officer of Pharaoh's captain of the guard of Egypt, brought him of the hands of the Ishmaelites, which had brought him down thither. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. And the master saw that the Lord was with him, and that the Lord made all that he had to prosper in his hand. And Joseph found grace in his sight, and he served him, and he made him overseer over his house, and all that he had he put into his hand. And it came to pass, from the time that he had made him overseer in the house and over all that he had, that the Lord blessed the Egyptian house for Joseph's sake. And the blessing of the Lord was upon all that had in the house and in the field. And he left all that he had in Joseph's hand, and he knew not aught he had, save the bread which he had eat. And Joseph was a goodly person and well favored. And it came to pass after these things, that the master's wife cast her eyes upon Joseph, and she said, Lie with me. Nobody want to lie with your behind. But he refused and said unto his master's wife, Behold, my master wrought not what is with me in his house, and he hath committed all that he hath to my hand. There is none greater than this house that I, neither had he kept back anything from me but thee, because thou art his wife. Now then can I do this great wickedness and sin against God? And it came to pass, as she spoke to Joseph day by day, that he hearkened not unto her to lie with her or to be with her. And it came to pass without that time that Joseph went unto the house to do his business, and there was none of the men of the house there within. And she caught him by his garment, saying, Lie with me. And he left his garment in her hand. Because he said, and ran. And fled and got him out. And it came to pass, when she saw that he had left his garment in her hand and was fled forth. And she called unto the men of the house and spake unto him, saying, See, he hath brought in an Hebrew unto us to mock us. He came in unto me to lie with me, and I cried with a loud voice. And it came to pass, when he heard that, I lifted up my voice and cried, that he left his garment with me and fled and got him out. And she laid up his garment by her until his Lord came home. And she spake unto him according to these words, saying, The Hebrew servant which thou hast brought unto us came unto me to mock me. And it came to pass, as I lifted up my voice and cried. Oh, she was a good liar, wasn't she? Oh, because she wanted, she's nasty. No, she shouldn't have done that, but she did. Then he left his garment with me and fled out. And it came to pass, when his master heard the words of his wife, which she spake unto him, saying, After this manner did thy servant to me, that his wrath was kindled. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. But the Lord was with Joseph, and showed him mercy, and gave him favor in the sight of the keeper of the prison. And the keeper of the prison committed to Joseph's hand all the prisoners that were in the prison, and whatsoever they did there, he was the doer of it. And the keeper of the prison looked not to anything that was under his hand, because the Lord was with him, and that which he did, the Lord made it to prosper. I'll go ahead and read chapter 40. So tomorrow we'll only have exactly 10 chapters to read. But as you can see, the Most High was dealing with Israel and his sons and what they did. It's a lot. All right. Let's go ahead and read chapter 40. And it came to pass after these things that the butler of the king of Egypt and his baker had offended their lord, the king of Egypt. And Pharaoh was wroth against two of his officers, against the chief of the butlers, against the chief of the baker. And he put them in war in the house of the captain of the guard, into the prison, the place where Joseph was bound. And the captain of the guard charged Joseph with them, and he served them, and they continue a season in ward. And they dreamed a dream, both of them, each man his dream in one night, each man according to the interpretation of the dream, the butler and the baker of the king of Egypt, which were bound in the prison. And Joseph came in unto them in the morning, and looked upon them, and behold, they were sad. And he asked Pharaoh's officer that were with him in the ward of his lord's house, saying, Wherefore look ye so sadly today? And they said unto him, We have dreamed a dream, and there is no interpretation of it. And Joseph said unto them, Do not interpretations belong to God? Tell me them, I ask thee. And the chief butler told him his dream to Joseph, and said to him, In my dream, behold, a vine was before me, and in the vine were 3 branches, and it was as though it budded, and her blossoms shot forth, and the clusters thereof brought forth ripe grapes. And Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and I gave the cup unto Pharaoh's hand. And Joseph said unto him, This is the interpretation of it. 3 branches are the 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall the Pharaoh lift up thine head, and restore thee unto thy place, and thou shalt deliver Pharaoh's cup unto his hand, after the former manner, when thou wast his butler. But think on me when it shall be well with thee, and show kindness, I pray thee, unto me, and make mention of me unto Pharaoh, and bring up of this house. For indeed I was stolen away out of the land of the Hebrews, and here also have I done nothing that they should put me into the dungeon. Verse 16. When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was good, he said unto Joseph, I also was in my dream, and behold, I had 3 white baskets on my head, and in the upmost basket there was of all manner of baked meats for Pharaoh, and the birds did eat them out of the basket upon my head. And Joseph answered and said, This is the interpretation thereof. The 3 baskets are 3 days. Yet within 3 days shall Pharaoh lift up thy head from off thee, and shall hang thee on a tree, and the birds shall eat thy flesh from off thee. And it came to pass the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday. Bad things happen during birthdays. It's a reason why we really don't celebrate birthdays. It's not a custom of ours. Which Pharaoh's birthday, that he made a feast unto all the servants. And he lifted up the head of the chief butler and of the chief baker among his servants. And he restored the chief butler unto the butlership again, and he gave cup unto Pharaoh's hand. But he hung the chief baker, as Joseph interpreted to them. Yet did not the chief butler remember Joseph, but forgot him. And that's chapter 40. Hold on. All right. So, I had to wait till the garbage truck. Oh, it was pretty loud. All right. So, we're at chapter 41, starting tomorrow. There's a lot of stuff that happened, and we're going to backtrack before we actually go into the book of Exodus after tomorrow. So it's today Wednesday. Thursday we'll be done with the book of Genesis. Exodus will start on Friday, but we're going to review the chapter of Genesis before going into Exodus. So that way we have some type of understanding of what's going on, or just backtrack and reflect on it. Okay. So I thank you all for tuning in to Bible on the Porch, brought to you by Keepers of the Flame Hebrew Kingdom Building Ministry. I am LaRonda. My Hebrew name is Keturah. My name probably will change again, but I'm not sure right now. It's been Keturah for a while now. However, I want to thank you all again. I am the founder of Keepers of the Flame Hebrew Kingdom Building Ministry. And so I'll give more about myself later. But this is just Bible on the Porch. Let's end it with prayer. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in the earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from our enemies. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. We thank you and we praise you, and we magnify and glorify you, O Most High. We thank you for letting us come together again to read your word. I thank you, and we thank you and we praise you. We come into your court and we come into your gates with thanksgiving, and into your court with praise. We thank and we praise you for your understanding, for opening up our understanding, Most High. We thank and we praise you for that. Now let us depart from each other, but never from you. And we thank you forever. God, I ask that you guide us safely to and from work, those that leave the house to go to brick and mortar jobs. We ask for your guidance, your mercy, your protection. And so thank you for that. We ask that you guide us and continue to keep us and protect us. In your son's precious holy name, we pray. Amen. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you all tomorrow. If you have any questions, you can always send me a message on Facebook, or you can send the message. You can email me at keepersoftheflame23@gmail.com, and I'll get it. If not, I'll see you all tomorrow with another reading, scripture reading, Bible on the Porch. Bye. Oh, shalom, kingdom rising.